Welcome to SlapperCast, episode 379. 379, SlapperCast. We're in an undisclosed location. We hope you enjoy this episode. On this episode 379 SlapperCast, you will find the wonderful, the incomparable, Mr. James Jimbo Edwards, who will be doing some Blaggard work for us, taking the place of our beloved Turbo. Please enjoy this episode. If you're watching this and it's still the same month as it was a few days ago, was it May? That's right. If it's June, just forget it. If it's still May, you have time. On Friday, we're going to be at Granbury, Texas, a place called the Pub McDonough. And Saturday, we're going to be back at Gillespie's in Richardson. We'd love for you to join us. So on this exquisite episode 379 SlapperCast, the number one rock and roll podcast in the multiverse, please enjoy the wonderful, the immeasurable Mr. James Jimbo Edwards. And come and see a show. For the love of God, we're going to have a lot of fun. Love to see you there. And hey, you're going to have a Turbo sighting. He's not in bed. He should be. His wife says he should be. So please join us this weekend. Friday, Granbury, Texas. Saturday, Richardson, Texas. The Pub McDonough and Gillespie's. Both places, great food, great staff, great pubs. Just delighted to be back. So join us up there. And then next week, of course, the reunion shows with Mike McAloon, Jeff Duncan. It's going to be tremendous. So join us and check out our website, blaggards.com. We have t-shirts, mugs, you know what we have. We got a lot of stuff. Stop in there, say hello. And really looking forward to seeing you. So, sorry, keep my voice down. I'm going to keep my voice down. Hope to see you very, very soon. Thank you for watching SlapperCast, episode 379. Enjoy. Cheers.
All right.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, lovers, gentle lovers, amigos, amigas, muchachos, muchichis. This right here is our dear friend James Edwards. We call him Jimbo. He doesn't like it. Don't you do it? You can only say that when you're in bed or no, I don't know. James Edwards, of Moses Guest fame and ex Blaggards, and actually not even ex. You've just been kind of
what's the term?
Auxiliary?
Oh no, it's a guy that's like just hanging around. No, I don't know what it is.
So we have a great history with James Edwards, James Jimbo Edwards. We're just talking about it. So when our first lineup was coming to a fizzle, one Tori Hoyseth packed up.
Tori.
Yes.
She was awesome.
Terry. Yeah, she still is.
Yeah.
Still is.
I haven't talked to her.
She's a great parent now. She has two beautiful girls and a wonderful husband who is an incredible mandolin player.
Yeah.
So you can imagine what a campfire would be at that house with her on fiddle and she's also a great singer. But again, I don't want to take anything away from the fact that we have James Edwards in our midst. Again, we were able to lure him back in with the loss of Turbo, who's going in to get a brand new knee, some fake lips.
Where?
As long as they're in there. You know.
Yeah, he's going to get some. Yeah, and he's going to get. I think he's going to get that big bubble ass. I asked for that.
I tried that out once. It didn't take.
It didn't take.
It didn't take.
Oh, I did, but it landed on my face, and it's comfortable now. So, in all seriousness, so we were talking. Of course, Encyclopedia Smalley was able to just throw out. We were bouncing around in days gone by, and just living in the past. And we had called, or Chad had called at my request. He had called you and said, "Hey, we're drummers leaving town. Turi's going west, and Brian Vogel had already made plans to." Exit stage right. And Brian, of course, they're all still dear friends of ours, and they don't call or write anymore, but that's okay. They were never good with the English language in the first place. So Blaggards was kind of in limbo, and we had a call from Galveston to come and do the show, and we had no band. So I said, Chad, call James Edwards, see if he wants to come down. We'll do a three-piece.
Yeah.
That must have been one of our first three-piece shows ever.
Well, no. Well, we did play. We played some three-piece with Brian. We called ourselves Shamrock. Yeah.
Yes.
Until we figured out that people were confused, we just called it Blaggards, whatever we're doing. But yeah, we played.
That's right.
We did. What was that? The Shamrock? Because that was because of the Shamrock Pub.
Pub on Guest.
That's where that came from. Yeah.
That place was older than I think the Mayan ruins. It was just you kind of walk in and as you leave you wipe your feet to get out. It's just.
But we started doing 3-piece. I mean, obviously with Jonathan Camerad, we've done 3-piece stuff. Usually on Wednesday nights at Beverly. But then when Tori started having her bursitis problem in her elbow, she would start taking breaks in the middle of sets, and that's when the dun 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 the beginning to the F sharp D joke started, because that's one of the songs we play 3-piece when she was taking a break. So it's been a running gag now. When anybody's late to the stage or late on a cue, Patrick will go bump bump, and we'll.
and it's usually when Chad's doing something that involves maintenance, it's something that can't be helped, and I pretend like he's late, which he's not. But anyway, so we had called. So again, stand corrected. We got the call and we went down. I do remember that show in Galveston. I don't remember the songs or anything, but I do remember a really good feel about that.
Yeah. That like I was saying, that was completely unrehearsed because it was just a one-off. Let's just jump in and see what happens. So we were just throwing things at him.
Low stakes.
Yeah. And I remember it was kind of dead when we first got there, but we did pull some people off the street and had people dancing and stuff. It was actually a pretty good night.
Let's not use that phrase because we would have made a lot more money if we'd had to pull people off in the street. But I mean, it is Galveston.
I mean, yeah.
So I do remember that a lot of the songs that we had played, one of the beautiful things about playing with professional musicians is you can take risks. You really can walk off that edge and be quite comfortable in it. And one of the many great tools that he has in his kit is clock. You've got a great inner clock, and you're unshakable, time-wise, and that's just a joy to play with. And it improves everybody. And I really do. We said it as well as we're sound checking today, getting ready for we're getting ready for a big rehearsal today. But we did say a lot of the drummers kept your rhythms, and your stuff that they put in there. That I like that one. That's how we want to do it.
Most notably, and this was Mike's. This is what Mike latched onto and preserved was the way that you played the choruses, or not really the choruses, but the main melody of the head of Patty, Public Enemy. Da, 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 da. You decided to follow his guitar strumming instead of because before it used to just be a polka all the way through, and you said, I'm going to start matching his pattern, and it totally changed the feel and kind of drove the song forward. So when Mike was learning the stuff when he first joined, he heard the way that you were playing it, as opposed to because I think he'd heard the other versions too, and he was like, I like the way James played. I'm going to do it that way. I was like, cool. So it's been that way ever since.
A lot of that stuff has kept. And again, it's to me, it would be feather in your cap having that stuff done. I mean, I love when people say that our version of X is their favorite version. I love that. And again, this should not be on tape. Maybe we'll take it out. But I remember at T-Bone Tom's and his family came up at the end of the show, and it's such a family restaurant. It's such a family style restaurant. It's big and it's open, and we have always had such a good time there. But this family was up there, and they had heard our version of Prison Love Songs, which is again Folsom Prison with Fields of Athenry. We wanted the American and the Irish together because again that's where they came from. Blah blah blah. And the mother had told me that the son's first introduction to Johnny Cash was our Folsom Prison in that. And then they listened to the original. He goes, I don't like Johnny Cash. And I said, don't you say that in public. Don't you ever say that again. That was, I'm joking, but the kid was kind of like, what? And he said, no, I like, and it was a thrill to hear something. But again, when you hear an electrified, fast, exciting version of that song, then you go back and you hear Dylan on a guitar and he's kind of squawking. You're not going to take in the beauty of how it was written. You're going to go for the big shiny steam train coming at you. So again, without having to yap the whole time, James, Jimbo, Aloysius, Monstrosity, delighted to have you here. And could you give us a little background?
I don't know what's the important part.
When did you start playing drums?
I started when I was 9, and my teacher lived just down the street from me. It just happened so that way. He was the timpanist for the Houston Symphony.
Oh, cool.
So I got a great classical percussion training from him. For the first 3 years, he wouldn't let me play drum set. It's just like, no, you're just going to work on your stick control. So, so I got a good foundation there. And then when I was 12, he said, okay, here's your drum set. He went and picked it up. My mom paid for it. 1969 Ludwig Sparkle Silver. I still have it. And started playing with two of my mates from junior high school, Matt Heck and Matthew Loden.
Yep, I remember them.
Who we all eventually wound up at HSPVA together.
Yeah.
Matthew went on to study classical violin through the program. Matt was he went to visual arts, and I stayed with percussion and also jazz. But anyway, we used to play as a three-piece. It was just like two guitars and drums, and I would tune my bass drum wide open so it would kind of have at least a little bit of like bass response or something. Matthew would sometimes play a little Casio keyboard and violin. We would play like Rush and Led Zeppelin and Leonard Skinner and George Thorogood, like, you know, as little 12-year-olds are finding their way. But anyway, so yeah, I went through the program at HSPVA, studying symphony, percussion, and then jazz ensemble. And then I did a year at the University of Miami studying jazz music, and then a year at North Texas State studying jazz, and was not really applying myself. Kind of, you know.
James.
So I left school and came home and played music professionally for a few years, and decided I kind of hated that. And
what was professionally? What was?
Well, at one point I was in like 7 different bands. So
Same time?
Same time. I played in the house band at the Brazos River Bottom, which was a gay country and western bar across from like downtown on Brazos, across from Specs. It's not there anymore.
I was going to say we should go.
Yeah, play Thursday through Sunday, and then the pedal steel guitarist and I had an avant-garde jazz group that David Craig would play bass and Bob Chadwick played flute and lyricon, and so there was a lot of original compositions in that. I was also still playing, I think, with Kevin Blessington, Aaron Crone, and Chris McFarland, and Elevator Up, that then became All Mod Cons. Before that, I was in a band called Circus Glass, which was Chad Condon and some of the other guys I mentioned,
Brian.
Non-Mockers.
Yeah,
that was high school.
I saw them play once.
Yeah, it was a fun band. It was a crazy band. And then what else? That was like a top 40 group, and then I was playing tuxedo gigs at like the country clubs and random rock gigs, reggae, whatever. I mean, just kind of whatever showed up. I'm like, okay, I'll play it. And I just wasn't really, I don't know. I think I was doing too many drugs and drinking too much alcohol and not thinking clearly about my whole situation. So anyway, I'm sober now, which is great. 19 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
Next month.
Yeah.
Which is amazing.
That was a switch you made when you were playing with us.
Yeah, exactly. 2007.
Mm-hmm.
It made sense. I mean, I had a good guide. It's really helpful. I don't know how much I want to say about that. Or it was okay to say.
Oh yeah, anything. This gloves off. And just on the band thing, gun to your head, you had to join one of those bands from that era right now and go play. Who would it be?
Gosh, that's a hard one, man.
You're welcome.
If I had to,
gun to your head.
If I had to, man, wow.
Fuck it, I quit.
You know what? Maybe the country band. Yeah. I mean, it's great. People are dancing. You're playing. People are dancing. There's no better audience feedback than that.
100%. Chad, you have to go back in time, play with one of your bands.
It'd be good to go back to the Change.
Yeah, you're fond of all of them, though, right?
Yeah. But the Change was one where we were so young and so angry, just short-tempered, and I wish that we only lasted a couple of years, and we did a lot in those 2 years. We were very, very busy, very prolific. You know, like 2 or 3 rehearsals a week and a band meeting on top of that every Sunday. We're very organized.
But yeah, we did a lot of original stuff, and I just felt we reached an imploding point way sooner than we should have. This is one of those things, but we were so young. It's hard to imagine it being any different, but it's one of those things that would be cool to go back and.
So let me ask you another question while we got you rolling on here. What's your song, the original song that you have to play? You have to sell right now, song from The Change, that you have to sell right now as
easy. There was a song that Andy Zubik, who was the main songwriter, lead singer of the band. I also sang lead. We would trade off, but he was really the main. It was really his band at the end of the day. But when I first met him, he was busy writing a song called Color Magic.
Color Magic?
Color Magic, yeah. And it was, I don't even know how to characterize it. I could play the whole thing for you, note for note. I remember all the words. I remember the bass line, even though I wasn't playing the bass. But it was a brilliant song. And that was one, I think if we had our shit together, it could have been a hit. So yeah, that would be one I would go back to immediately, because it was probably one of the best songs Andy ever wrote. I helped him finish it, but it was really his song.
So James, same question. You have to go play a song. You have to sell it right now, and preferably one that you helped compose, or I don't know if you ever did step in that role. But even with Moses Guest, who you're currently with, who, just sidebar, tremendous performance. I know you guys wouldn't agree, but from the audience perspective, flawless, beautifully executed, such command of that stage, and everybody in such. That was a great experience. I was only angry at
the Guest
Fest.
Oh, okay. Oh, thank you.
Third, I mean, just my heart was full, and I don't have a heart, or or any way to fill it. But yeah, it was tremendous. So same question. You've got to use any of these bands or any of the thing, preferably something that you had a hand in. What's the song that you play to sell that?
Man, these are really hard questions, because I like so much of it. It would be a Moses Guest song for sure. I think the one that really exemplifies the dynamics of the group is this song we have called "How Does It Feel," and it's pretty just rocking, groovy. But then in the middle, it breaks down into this like waltz jazz kind of feel, really light. I get to sing little background vocals on it that are really sweet and tender. And then we go from the 3/4, like, and some kicks that just like, it's like a 3-on-4 situation. And then we like back into the song, and then it just builds and gets really huge, which we're just, we're a really dynamic band that way. So I think that like has the feel, the Moses Guest feel, and then showcasing the jazziness, that we have. And that being said, the way Graham is writing now, the songs are starting to change. Like we're less solo driven and jam driven, and more almost like Americana, wood wire kind of sound. Almost.
Really?
Yeah. So
more like Moses Knows rather than Moses Guest. You stop. Are you now? I know Graham's the primary songwriter, progenitor. He does that. You should charge for that.
He writes the songs, he brings them to us, and generally without a little bit of guidance, but we create our own parts.
Yes.
And then we hash it out.
And is it amicable? I mean, is it usually
it's a pretty easy process.
Yeah.
I mean,
he's an incredible. Which again, another side note. That's what they call me, Captain Side Note. But you need to go check out their website because we know the webmaster. We know the. You need to check out, and you need to check out Blaggards.com as well, because that's been revamped as well. Again, we know the webmaster, and I don't want to say. He's kind of dropped the fucking ball on promoting himself, but if you like what you see too, he is available for that
parties,
kind of stuff.
weekends.
Yeah, right.
But anyway, just another side note, because but let's get back to, if you don't mind, let's get back to the Jimbo early days. So I love that you were playing at 9. I love that I just could not imagine, being told you're not getting a kit for 3 years.
Yeah.
That's just,
it was kind of hard.
Yeah, that's, again, dedication on your part. And forgive me too, I don't mean to just butter you up. We're like I say, we're so grateful to have Keith York step in, to have you step in. Next Wednesday, we're going to play at Big Top, and we're going to have Justice from Lone Feather sit in. And like I said, we're so grateful. But again, without sounding too gooey and sticky and sweet, we are thrilled to have you back, and be able to do this, especially because, Turbo stepped in a few years back. He came in and he was lucky enough to have, or unlucky enough to have played some of these songs before. So he was able to, and he'd heard of us and heard some of our music. So he was able to kind of jump in and kind of stick the landing.
Mm-hmm.
This has been great because we know you and we played with you and you helped shape some of these songs, which again, we're going to change again.
It's pretty crazy.
It really is. So I guess that 40 minute wind up leads to, do you write music? Do you compose? Do you,
I write grooves and rhythms. Since I don't, I have a keyboard, but it's not set up all the time. Like I break it out if I'm trying to figure out a vocal part or something. But since I don't play a melodic instrument, and I'm not involved with one on a regular basis, my mind doesn't really work that way right now. Like I think if I learned some guitar or that, I would probably be writing more. But I'm really more just, I like to come up with grooves, whether it's on congas or drum set or whatever. That's how my brain works.
Yeah. Well, and it's evident too in your playing. It's so like we jumped in on a couple of songs, just cold, just kind of jumped in, like just sound checking them. But it was also nice to hear that different. We're coming at a different angle. A song didn't suffer.
Nope.
Like somebody coming in, the jazz background, never have heard. I've heard how we play, would have had a really difficult time with those.
Mm-hmm.
You're kind of stepping into an old pair of boots, and
well, and I had the benefit of recordings to, learn from too.
Yeah.
That you guys.
Yeah, not a lot of people listen.
Playing.
Yeah, not a lot of people
Really
listen
good.
to them. They'll. Oh yeah, I'll get to that, and then they come to the rehearsal and go, I didn't have any time. So that's really nice. How much of your music that you listen to for just unwinding or psyching yourself up or doing whatever you do, how much of that stuff do you get to play in like a Blaggards show or a Moses Guest show, or you know what I mean?
Well, first of all, I listen to podcasts all day long. Mostly political news.
Oh yes,
and
that's tough to get away from.
It helps me make sense of the world, which is pretty. Anyway, I would say probably like the songs that speak to me the most is we touch on in Moses Guest, but I think that's mostly because I'm part creator. Like if you want to know like influences,
Yes,
like Steely Dan is a huge. Like I always wanted to be a studio drummer, but I never really had the chops for it. But like that seemed like a great job, like work during the day and then go home. I like home.
I saw Steely Dan with Dennis Chambers.
Oh my God.
I was front row.
Wow.
I was front row, and I couldn't take my eyes off him for the whole show. I just didn't look away.
Wow.
And I was told, when Beckers starts to sing, when he does his solo stuff, go get a drink. I said, but I don't like to leave. I like to watch it. So they said, go get a drink. So I saw one bar of his first song, and I went and got a drink. It was fucking awful. And again, you can't. That's just not nice to say.
Well,
but
it's old, and you can't maintain a range like that for.
But it wasn't good.
Mm.
It wasn't good. Our sound check Jimbo song was better. It just kind of felt like he was just making up a spot. It wasn't good. Anyway, so that was but it was that moment of, oh, they are human. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, because the sound was just tremendous. Anyway, sorry to back to your.
That's okay.
Side, yeah.
Was it Captain's
Captain Sidebar?
Sidebar. Let's see what else. Well, I mean, I love Led Zeppelin for just foundationally. Beyond that, man, I don't know. I love jazz a lot.
Yeah,
especially Miles Davis in the '60s era, but 50s and '60s. Even like when he got electric. I'm not crazy about the '80s and on, but any of those dudes, Coltrane, Wayne Shorter, Herbie Hancock.
Vanilla Ice. Vanilla Ice. He's big jazz guy.
Yeah.
We can break it down.
Vanilla Ice. Yeah.
We have it on tape.
Well,
Yeah.
uh,
Hey, man,
I don't know what to say about that.
It is what it is. I was telling somebody this the other day. We played a festival up in Nacogdoches, and I got an email from one of the people in the crowd. And they'd said, "Hey, I'm a young guy. I'm starting out. Basically, tips. What are the tips for, starting a band?" And so I mentioned all this stuff, but I'd also said, look, because he's into the heavier stuff. I said, me too. I listen to really heavy stuff. And my son keeps me, up to date on what's coming out in the news. And it's, obscenely heavy, but it's so well executed. These bands are getting so good. And again, not everybody's cup of tea. But anyway, so that what I told him was, and this is kind of my template for, but I said, look, you have to play all the time. Just get out there and do it. Get out in front of people, just play, call the coffee shop, say if they'll let you do an open mic or just do a set, whatever it is, but just get out there and do it. And then what, my secret is I like the heavy stuff too. I also like the kind of country stuff. I like the, all different kinds. But what I'll do is I'll just kind of sneak it in there if it fits the song. And then you get to kind of go through all these different emotions musically in a set or in a night or in a what, but you do have a huge palette of stuff that you seem to be able to draw from. And that's that Chad and I've been very, we've always just really appreciated that we can pick from different styles and feelings and just, the matches. Like for instance, on Paddy, you said, I'm going to match that guitar strum, and you change everything from to we hadn't thought of it, but you was like, I'm listening to the guitar, we're going to match that. And then, of course, the contrast then between the verse and the chorus, night and day. And it's so much fun because it really does. It illuminates, puts a different color on the, in the song. We like to have those little, the flare-ups, in the middle of the, but anyway, so I know we're getting.
I would say about that, like, for me, like one of the things that I learned foundationally as a musician is to like always be listening to what's going on. And so I don't know, I think I'm a really good listener.
What does Rebecca say about that?
Yeah, she would agree.
Should we agree?
She would agree.
Nice.
Yeah.
What's it like?
So I don't know. I guess maybe just like listening, paying attention, absorbing. And maybe that's just like a natural gift that I don't have to think about or something, but that idea has come to me. I don't know. I don't have to think about it too much, but sometimes I have to be told if something's not working, right? Because I'm going to try this. This makes sense to me. And then it might be like, well, that's not actually the direction that we want to go with that. So I have to be open to that.
But let's wrap up only because... Okay. Only because I want to get some of those sweet grooves going. I'm not going to mention that I just think it's just such a decent human thing to do that you work with Habitat for Humanity, and you've always been big heart Jimbo. I'm not going to say any of that. It's going to be such a blast playing with you. Not that it isn't with anybody else, but it just, Chad was saying this the other day. It kind of feels like like the girlfriend's in a coma. And you get to go out and just do whatever the hell you want, run the street. Isn't that what you said?
No,
you didn't say that? I thought you did. And also, it's difficult to be serious. This is the other thing about bands too. You develop. We did have you always kind of have that private joke. You have that telepathy thing going without a doubt. Oh, I want to do this song. Oh, that's the song we're doing. It's you know what I mean? This thing just lines up and falls into place. It just happens. And we had a great rapport. We didn't split up on bad terms at all. We had, it was just.
Do you remember why I left?
I thought it was the bass player. You didn't like the fact.
It's your business, wasn't it?
That was a small part of it. But no, it's because I had just started in the massage business.
Yeah.
But you guys were like
Hands in Harmony.
Yeah, but you guys were getting big and traveling a lot. And I was like, man, I just can't do it. I can't travel.
Yeah.
Like that.
It's true.
That's really all it was. Like really enjoyed.
Yeah, I mean, we had no. There wasn't a bad word said. There was one time at Start Street Studios where we were trying. I'm trying to
that place.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I was trying to show him a part, and it went da 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 da, and he went da 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 da, and there was no floor tom there, and he sat there and he goes. And it was. I think I might have pissed a little bit. I think I might have. It was a squirt, but it was.
We used to have a lot of fun in that rehearsal space. Yeah.
Just
Oh
out. I mean, unheard of humor. I mean, just unheard of laughs. You know, like my friend David Lee Roth says, "Laugh like pirates." We laughed like fucking pirates.
Mm-hmm.
It was, and I think that's why it's so exciting, because you get to kind of light that fire again, and and see what happens.
Hopefully that the coals aren't too soggy.
Yeah. Well, that's why we don't do any R. Kelly. We like to keep the powder dry. But
I hadn't thought about the confluence of events you're talking about, because I knew it was your business that was building it. That's why you had to step away. But it's true that, and I knew this, I just didn't put the two and two together. That last, it wasn't your last show, but one of the last shows, it was Turi's last show, actually, right before Buckley came in, was when we played the Houston Press Music Awards at what was called Slancha at the time.
Upstairs.
And it was packed. And that was suddenly we realized, but a lot of it was the people who were there for the festival and all that stuff. But at that point, we had built things up to a point we realized, we can headline at, at Continental Club now, and whatever. We did start headlining there after that. But that show was kind of an eye opener for us at the time. But that was, I think, about a couple months before you left, around that point.
Yeah, and it was that show was also memorable because I remember the manager coming running upstairs, going, "We've got to get some people out of here because the ceiling was bouncing.
They literally could see it downstairs.
They said, "We're going to fall through we've got to get people out of here." It was so mobbed and so packed, and it was. And again. That's what there was a time when you look around, there was more Blaggard shirts than, and maybe it's just because I recognize it, but there was more Blaggard shirts than any other band that was on that whole day. It was just, it was just every time I turned around, it was just more. So it was, there was definitely was that. I was also thinking too that you didn't, and you were really good about that, because you went and you did stop drinking while we were playing, and it didn't. It's also nice to be around that. It's nice to be in the company of people that are not getting hammered, because it's not fair to somebody that's trying to stop. I haven't had a drink since 1987.
Man, that's amazing.
Yeah, but that part's easy. The part that's difficult for me is smoking. I could smoke right now. I just cigarettes. That will never leave. I don't know if it's a daily thing, but it's rare to go a couple of days without thinking about it. So I think about smoking, and it's
that's a drag.
Hey, so
it's been 21 years for me.
Yeah,
since I quit smoking.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah. It was St. Patty's Day, 2005.
Really?
It was the day after St. Patty's Day in 1987.
Really?
For drinking, but
for smoking.
But Patty's Day, yeah.
Wow. Look at us. We're like grown-ups.
I know, but we're gonna go in. We're gonna play like teenagers. But anyway, so anyway, to be continued. We're gonna do more. But I just, like I said, we're thrilled to have Mr. Backbone here, just throwing down them grooves, and we're gonna have some fun, and we're gonna maybe put some clips on here today. So,
boy,
good to have you, son.
Good to be here, bro.
Yeah. Oh, it's good.
All right.
1,800 miles from this old nightclub. A girl is turning 22 today. Well, how am I supposed to entertain you? My fingertips are worthless when my mind so far away. 1,800 miles from Manhattan. The nightclub yawns and opens up its doors. Thank God that I don't have to pay 'Cause every night I'm broker than I was the night before. 'Cause this old nightclub stole my youth. Yeah, this old nightclub stole my true love. It follows me around from town to town. I just might get drunk tonight and burn the nightclub down. I just might get drunk tonight